guys, welcome to a special little mini-sode of the Cat Lady channel. My name is Andrea, also known as the Cat Lady, and today I thought I would share with you my top 5, in no particular order, favorite crafting, knitting, crochet notions. Mostly knitting, mostly knitting related, but some of these kind of apply to both. So maybe I will mention a few of the things that obviously apply to both, but these are my top 5 favorite knitting notions, accessories, supplies. So first and foremost, what is the most important? I mean, these are in order of usage maybe. So we'll say number 1 is circular needles. So I know people still use straight needles, and that's fine, but I have found that circular needles, specifically interchangeable circular needles, are my absolute favorite knitting tool. So, you know, straight needles can only hold so many stitches, so it's like you're already limited to projects. Circular needles have a variety of cord lengths and your tip sizes and everything, so you can hold like a whole blanket on here. It does not mean you're knitting in the round. Now you can knit in the round, obviously, and you do a lot of projects in the round, such as sweaters and sleeves and all sorts of hats and whatever. So, you know, circular needles definitely are an absolute necessity for a knitter. Now, personally, I really like interchangeable needle sets, and I've gone through a couple knit sets, and it really is like you have to find the needles that you like. So I've tried the Addy needles, and I've tried Knit Picks, 2 types of Knit Picks needles, and then I have settled on, these are my absolute favorite. These are the ChowGoo red lace twists. So these are metal tipped needles, which they make, you know, they do make a ChowGoo set in the bamboo, I believe. And I just adore the metal tip needles. I've used Knit Picks in the wood and the metal. Again, hands down, I really prefer the metal needles. They're nice and slick and fast. But what it is about these ChowGoos is the cords. They hold no memory. You can bend them, you can twist them around, and they just like pop right back out. So Knit Picks cords were not so nice. Addy cord was thinner, but still not great. The joins are smooth. I, knock on wood, have never had a needle pop off. And you can be working on something like I have a project right here. So I am working on a sweater, and I just cast on the sleeve. I have my size 11 needles on here, and once I get to the ribbing, all I have to do is swap out the needles. I don't have to like change a whole circular set. You know, I don't have to swap out a whole set of needles with the cord. I just have to take off the tips, put on my size 10.5 or whatever your pattern calls for, and do the ribbing. So it's really nice in that, you know, it's just convenient. And honestly, and I kind of forgot, I could have put my waist yarn, or holding my stitches, I could have held my stitches on a ChowGoo cord. Instead, I'm using an old Knit Picks cord. And then I could have just put the needles right on there and been on my merry way, but instead I have to like now transfer them because I wasn't thinking, because I do have extra cords I could have used. But now another thing is they come in the ChowGoo specifically, and I don't know about other brands. I don't know exactly other brands, but these come in 2 different sizes. So this is a 5-inch set, so the needle is 5 inches. So it makes it, I mean, for me, this is my favorite. I like to hold these better. But if I'm making a hat, you can get a smaller, perfect small circumference size with the 4-inch set. So I've collected, we all collect things as knitters, don't we? We all collect needles, we all collect notions, so I now have a 4-inch set as well. So here is an example of a 4-inch, and this is actually set up for a hat. I don't know what size this is. What is this? This is size 8. So yes, I was making a hat, and literally it's the circumference of a hat. So like, you just keep going round and round and round. You don't have to worry about magic loop or anything. And it's nice. They are a little harder to hold because you're losing an inch of grip. And so I'm so used to gripping the 5-inch that the 4-inch definitely is a noticeable difference, but it is, you get used to it. And to be able to just go round and round in your hat and not have to do magic loop or double points, eventually you still have to end up switching to double points at the end when it gets really close to the end of the hat for the crown. But I love these needles. And these would be good for, I should be using these for my sleeve. Actually, I should see if I could use these for my sleeves that I'm working on right now. So that is number 1. So interchangeable needles, circular needles. Number 2 is these mold style stitch markers. And I got this set, and I will link what I can down below. I got this set off Amazon, and this is just a big old colorful set of mold style stitch markers. And the best thing about these is they fit over most size needles. Now when you get to the bigger size, like I will use this project as an example again. These needles, which are size 11 US, are kind of too big. So it will fit over there, but like moving it around, like, of course you can't really see well, but so you can see it fits on there, but it's like, yeah, once it gets kind of funky because it's like, it just fits. So anything less than 11, US 11, I would say, it would fit fine. But the best thing about those is once you get them situated as like stitch markers, they're removable. So I have one right here, actually, and I use them as progress keepers. I use these for everything. You can use it as a progress keeper because you can literally remove it. But once you put them on your needles, they're also removable. So if you accidentally, if it's one of those like movable things where you have to like constantly keep taking it out and off, sometimes it's easier just to unpin it. Sometimes you might have realized you put it in the wrong spot. Instead of having to like knit all the way around to it to slide it off, you can just move it. So I like those, and they're so abundant. And the thing I like to do as well is I like to turn them into progress keepers. So right here I have a little, let's see, I have a little charm of a kitty cat. Tiny little kitty. And I will just pop one of these on there. And it's an instant little, now this one, I guess this one's a little snug. It's maybe not the best example, but I mean, hold it this way, but it turns into just like a little progress keeper that you can clip onto your work. So I do that a lot too. So when I was dyeing yarn, I would send these as little extras attached to the yarn. But these have come in super handy. So for lots of things. So number 2 is the bulb style stitch markers. And you know, again, they're in abundance. So, you know, if you lose a couple, it's not a big deal. So, and number 3, I'm going to say is important for, so, okay. So the bulb style stitch markers are, I use both for crochet and knitting. So that is a combination item. Obviously the knitting needles aren't for knitting. Now I will say for the bulb stitch markers, like for these chickens, I knit them in the round, or I crochet them in the round continuously. So you always had to mark your first stitch. So that was like pivotal to mark my stitch, keep going around. I'd get to the first stitch and just keep going. So like you would just know you can keep track of your round. So that was like, I had to have something like that. So perfect for crochet to keep track of rounds. Next up is emergency crochet hook. And this is for knitting, pretty much for knitting. So, and you can get different kinds. So you can just buy a crochet hook. I would recommend I kind of like the G and the H sizes, so a 5mm or a 4mm, because you can use this for like fingering, sport weight yarns, DK yarns, worsted yarns, and even probably a bulky yarn, it'd be fine. But if you get down to like a smaller ones, because you could buy, some of the ones you can buy as just emergency hooks come in just this one tiny little size. These really are only going to work for fingering weight. So this set here, I won this, so I don't think I can tell you what this is, but this comes with a 3, 4, and 5mm. So this is perfect. Yeah, okay, so this 4 and 5mm, the ones I just talked about here, and then a 3mm. So you have your fingering weight yarn, which would be perfect for this, and then you start moving up to like sport weight and DK, and then worsted and maybe bulky. And this comes on a handy dandy keychain. So if you can find one of these, this is a perfect thing to throw in your Knitting Notions bag, because this works great for any like drop stitches, or if you find that you miss, like if you purled a knit stitch and you need to like rip it back. Let's see. I don't have a sample of that, but say I needed to like pull out a stitch that was like down here, I could just knit to that stitch, drop it, and then you just kind of chain it back up with the crochet hook, and it makes a perfect little knit stitch for you, or purl stitch if you're swapping it out. So these are really great for fixing your work and really handy to have. Now, I obviously have a bazillion crochet hooks, so I actually don't use these as much. I should just throw these somewhere though, just in my Notions pouch or whatever, so I don't have to go digging around for a crochet hook. And I guess on a tangent, if you are a crocheter, I absolutely adore these Clover Amour hooks. These are my absolute favorite. I'm a convert. I've converted every hook I have almost to these Clover Amour hooks. They're a nice rubber grip. The aluminum heads, they do turn plastic. They turn, in the larger sizes are plastic, which I do wish they were metal. That would be great, but they are or aluminum or whatever this is, but highly recommend these. Next up is project bags. Obviously not a necessity at all, but so much nicer to have your projects sitting in little project bags. So this is a project bag that is from Happy Little Yarn. She makes great bags with these nice little strap, like grabs, handles, and you got your drawstring, and they're just nice and sturdy and beautifully made bags. And then I've made a couple different kinds of bags. So I've made drawstring bags, and this one's just a regular pouch, basically. It works just as good as, so a lot of people like these, boxy bottoms because it stands up. But I made one that was just a pouch, just because, and it works obviously as a bag still. And that was that. And then I've also made some zipper pouch bags. So this is a boxy bottom bag as well, but has a zipper in it, and then a little like handle. So, and I use these for everything. So here's another, I have a couple Happy Little Yarn bags. So this is another Happy Little Yarn bag, the Spring Ghost, and this is carrying all my African flower hexagons. And then my sweater really should be in a larger bag, but it's currently living in this bag, which is another like boxy bottom drawstring with a big handle. This was a gift, and this, I can cram it in here if I try, but it's definitely getting a little bit big, so you definitely need different size bags for different projects. These are all really good, like shawl and sock bags. That's my favorite size because I do a lot of shawls, and I don't do socks much anymore, but I do a lot of shawls and smaller hats, smaller projects. That was number 4. And the last one I'm shaving for last just because it's big. So I love, for blocking anything, these big foam tiles. You can use like the alphabet tiles that you see in like kids stuff. I used to use those because I bought a set off like Craigslist or something. It was like $5 or not even, I don't know, it was really inexpensive, and I just put together all the foam tiles. Now, ideally, since the letters pop out, ideally you would then glue them all together and like make them solid, but I didn't care. I just like pinned it around. Letters be darned, they were in there and whatever, and it worked just fine. But we ended up getting some floor tiles for the basement for like a workout area. Our basement is, long story short, our basement is very humid, so like a lot of these tiles got really like mildewy underneath, so we could not put them on the floor. So we scrapped most of them, but I kept a handful for blocking, and these are amazing. But any foam tiles will work for blocking. So like if you find, again, you can like try looking for used like workout tiles or alphabet kids foam tiles. Great for blocking. I block a hat on 1. I would block a shawl on 4 if it was really long. You can block a sweater. It's like you just have so much versatility and like space, and then you can just lay it out, and it dries just quicker on these, I find. And then to go with that is these knit blocker pins, or combs, like blocking combs is what I'd call them. So these things are absolutely amazing. Like these were a game changer for me. So I used to use just the standard like little T-pins, and you'd have to pin like 40 million pins. These things are incredible. So you have basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pins in one chunk that you can just stick in. And if you followed me for a while, you've seen these in my blocking photos and stuff. And it comes with 2 sizes. You get the 8-pin one, and then you get the 4-pin one. So you got some little ones and some big ones. I do find that 90% of the time, if I'm blocking something like larger, 2 sets. So you need 2 sets. But these are Knitter's Pride. And they came out with like a rainbow colored one that was like super cute, but I had already bought this one. So, but I will link these below if these are still available. But these are an absolute game changer for me. I love these. So, and I am very like pro blocking everything for the most part. Like I block socks. Now I use like the sock blockers for those. I block my hats, I block sweaters, except for acrylic sweaters. So for this one, which is acrylic yarn, I will just wash it and lightly dry it in the dryer, and then after that, I will lightly dry it once in the dryer, just for the initial blocking, just to get a little heat. And then after that, I usually just hang it to dry, or like lay it out flat to dry. Don't hang it. So, but for everything else, I have every scarf, shawl, everything needs to be blocked. It looks so much better after blocking. So there you have it. That are my top 5, and that works for crochet or knit as well. So everything applied to knit or crochet except for the knitting needles. So, and I guess the emergency crochet hooks, I mean, maybe if you want, just maybe, I don't know. If you have a hook, I don't think you need another hook, but maybe you need another size hook for something, or you need a double hook something. I'm not sure, but anyways, I'm rambling. So thank you for watching. This was just a silly, quick little tidbit of peek inside of my favorite things. So thanks for watching.